Welcome to Foul Tips, the all-baseball edition of the 1420 Sports Bar podcast. Today, I'll give you my final thoughts on the Ohtani versus Judge debate for the American League MVP. The Gossman balk from the Jays game on, I guess it was Labor Day, was all over everywhere up here in Canada. And yes, it was a balk. A home run was held hostage in Tampa Bay on Tuesday night, and the guy who caught the ball wasn't really a big fan. I'll tell you what night and what section Aaron Judge will hit the American League and New York Yankees record-breaking home run at, and we'll finish things off with a couple of Rick Award nominees as well. So as always, sit back, grab a beer, and let's get into her. You know, just when you think that this debate would be over and done with, and we wouldn't have to talk about it anymore. I guess you never really have to talk about stuff, but I'm a bit of a loudmouth and I like talking about stuff, especially when it comes to my beloved New York Yankees and Aaron Judge. But me and Jim talked about it on the last 1420 podcast that we did together about most outstanding player and most valuable player. But yeah, on the old Twitter machine today, I saw the debate came up again, and then I saw it on a different show this morning on a four-letter network, I guess, that they're talking about the MVP debate for the American League between Shohei Ohtani of the California or Anaheim Angels, whatever they're called this week, and Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. To me, this one is an absolute no-brainer. To me, it's Aaron Judge for the MVP of the American League with what he's done this season. Even if he didn't hit another home run this year, he's going to. Obviously, he's Aaron Judge, and that's what he does, barring a disaster or something that happened, like an injury, knock on the proverbial wood somewhere. That Judge is going to probably break the American League and the Yankee home run record of 61 set by Roger Maris in 61. And Shohei Ohtani is having another outstanding year. It seems like that's going to be the kind of season he puts up year after year after year. He's a special talent who can do it all. And I've always wondered why there weren't more players who can do that. Get a little sidetracked here, but I remember when I was young, it's a long time ago, folks, when I was a young lad, now I'm saying lad, that's old. I've gotten all in the last 14 seconds, but when I was younger, the best athletes, the best pitchers in baseball, in Little League, American Legion, and on, high school, whatever you want to, whatever levels you talk about, the best pitcher could usually hit the ball really well too. They were usually the best athletes and everything else. Maybe it's different where you grew up, but where I grew up in Southern Alberta, it was kind of just the thing that the best athletes were the best athletes. They could do it all. And then you go to college or you go to pro, and you get told to either look at being one or the other. And pitchers, their arms are so finicky and they need certain rest days and everything else. It's a little more rest days now than it was 30 years ago, but it's still the same game. And I think the guys can get adjusted, but I'm kind of rambling here. Ohtani's doing things that I don't know why there isn't more of these guys playing in professional baseball or in college baseball. I don't understand that. It happens at a young level, but that's another story for another show. But what Judge is doing right now with the way the Yankees, their season started off, looked like they were going to run away with the division. They had a 15.5 or 16 game lead. It doesn't much matter now. They're down to 4.5 games up on Tampa right now. They haven't been playing good baseball. Turns out that, you know what the problem with the New York Yankees is? They're just not that good of a team. They make a lot of mistakes. They don't hit well. The pitching injuries throughout. I still don't understand the Montgomery trade that was made to get rid of a starting pitching, because you can never have too much starting pitching. I don't understand that trade that Cashman made, but we'll talk about the disgruntled Yankee fan in a second here. But what Aaron Judge has been able to do this season with the 54 home runs, I think there's 26 games left. He needs 8 more for the record. Like I said, he's got 115 RBIs, and if he can get a little bit hotter and maybe a guy can get go on a bit of a slump, he's got an outside chance at a triple crown. It hasn't been done, I think, since Miguel Cabrera did it with the Tigers. I really believe that Judge is having a season for the ages, and you can't just automatically give the MVP to the the best player in the league, because that would go to Ohtani no matter what every year if he can keep up what he's doing, because what he does is it's absolutely amazing the way he can do. His pitching stats are off the charts. He's hitting unbelievably again. He's a special talent in a different era of the game, and I really believe that he's doing things that we may never see again. It's something that we never thought we'd see again, and it's something for the ages. There's no doubt about that. But to give the MVP to a guy whose team is basically in last place in one of the not so good divisions in baseball, just ahead of the Oakland A's, basically, for a team that's not very good, they would be in last place without him, right? So either they're second last place in the division or last place in the division with them, it doesn't much matter. That's why I think you got to give it to Judge. If the season were to end today, I think Judge is your hands down favorite to win the MVP, because one, the Yankees are making the playoffs as of right now. If the season ended today, they'd be in the playoffs. I'm not going to hold my breath. There's still a lot can happen. I just got off a little episode here with John from Level the Playing Field, and I told him that, or Dave, sorry, from Level the Playing Field, that I basically think that if the Yankees don't win the division, they're going to end up out of a playoff spot. I think that's what's going to happen if they don't hold on to the division lead at 4.5 games. But Judge is single-handedly, like last week against Tampa, he's the only reason why they had any offense whatsoever. He hit another home run at home the other night. They were rained out yesterday, and he's going to be DHing today instead of playing the outfield. So he's going to get the at-bats he needs, and he's needed like nobody's business on that Yankees team to push them into the playoffs, because without him, they don't make the playoffs. They just simply don't. And with Ohtani, the Angels still miss the playoffs. They aren't even close to a wild card spot. They're not close to anything. So to give a guy the most valuable player, which is the most valuable player to his team, it's a team game, and a team has to make the playoffs to be successful, in my opinion. Me and Jim, we talked about the other night, if they want to separate it and they want to do something, they should do what the CFL does. To all our American listeners, CFL has this thing called the most outstanding player, which that's what their MVP is. It's the most outstanding. Now give that to Ohtani every year. If he can keep up doing what he's doing year after year, the way he plays the game, he could probably win that one 10 years in a row. Who knows how long teams are going to let him pitch. I see him more as an offensive threat for years to come. But as he's playing now, he could win it for 5 to 10 years, no problem. So maybe it's time to have an MOP award, maybe called the A-Rod Award. No, he's not a fucking nozzle. Did you guys see that video of him the other night smoking that cigar, talking to Pujols, and how he's going to come out of retirement in pinstripes because he's at 796 and he doesn't want Pujols to beat his record, 696. Sorry, not 796. Jesus. But what a nozzle. A-Rod's just a nozzle. Just go away, man. But anyways, he was having some fun with it. I guess it's part of it. He just has to be in the spotlight no matter what. He can't just let Albert Pujols have his day in the sun, and A-Rod has to put his 2 cents in, which nobody ever asked for. Nobody ever asked for my 2 cents either, but whatever. But anyways, we'll get back to the Judge situation. Like I said, I can't see any right-minded sports writer who does vote on these awards giving it to a guy whose team is 30 some games out of a playoff spot, because like I said, they would miss the playoffs with them, because or miss the playoffs without them, because they're missing with them. And I can't see why they would possibly not think that Judge isn't the guy who's going to basically single-handedly, he's going to pull this Yankees team across the finish line in the next 25 games, and he's going to set an American League record. We won't get into the all-time record that Barry Bonds holds. We won't get into that. We talk about that at length. So it's the Yankee record. It's the American League record. And the way Judge is, he's hitting 300. Like I said, he has an outside chance at a triple crown. And guys hitting 300, especially the way he used to strike out so much, he's improved his game. He stayed healthy. Before the season started, he bet on himself, which is huge. He's going to get paid. I think it's going to be the Yankees that pay him. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Aaron Judge needs the Yankees just as much as the Yankees need Judge. They basically made him the the captain of the team without naming him the captain of the team. They gave him the judges' quarters out there. They can't take that away. He's marketable. He's going to make enough money on marketing in New York City. I think he'd be crazy to leave the Yankees, and I think that they'll get a deal done in the offseason. 40 a year for 8 years. I think he'll get that just because. Do you want to pay a guy into his 40s that much money? Prorate the salary, maybe pay him a couple of years at $50 million. Man, that's big. Some big money. But at the end of the day, who else can pay him? I've heard rumblings about the Giants. I'll take him close to where he grew up, near Oakland, Northern California. But I think the Yankees will sign him. It'll be crazy to not sign the reigning American League MVP, which I think he's going to be. I think he deserves it this year. He stayed healthy. He stayed on the field, and that's huge. Knock on wood, like I said, he's the 20-some games left to get the Yankees into the playoffs, but he's the guy who's going to do it. Ohtani, he's an unbelievable talent. He's something that we've never seen in our lifetime. To even compare him to Babe Ruth is different because Ruth didn't pitch that much in his later years at all when he became a Yankee. He didn't pitch like maybe a season with the Yankees, and it wasn't for many innings. So for people to compare the two, it's kind of ridiculous because it's something that no one's ever seen before. The Ohtani situation is so unique. Like I said, I don't understand why it doesn't happen more because, like I said, when kids are young, they shouldn't be specialized into just doing one thing. If you can do multiple things good, why wouldn't you? And make some more dough. That man's going to get paid. Rumblings about the Cubs maybe going after him in the offseason. They got lots of money, but we'll talk about that in the offseason. We'll focus on this year. But anyways, there's my 2 cents. Aaron Judge, hopefully gets to 62. I said 63 a few weeks ago. I don't think it'll be that far off. But Judge, I think, will be the American League MVP. Ohtani is the most outstanding player, but he's not an MVP. Your team has to have team success, and the player has to have success to become an MVP. That's my opinion. Hope you guys share your opinions with my thoughts I just gave you. Our Twitter account, our Facebook page, email still at 1420sports@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. We love to talk to you guys, and any feedback is greatly appreciated. This part of the 1420 Sports Bar podcast and Foul Tips is brought to you by Manscaped and Manscaped.com.